What another day. Time to go get some dinner. Oof. Well, these windows down, it's awful hot in here. Let's go get dinner. Is that a pebble? What the hell is that? What is up, my creepy jeepy people? Nightmare JK Daddy. Wanted to bring you a little bit of a PSA here. Now you're gonna find this hard to believe, but that was actually a dramatization. I was not actually in any kind of peril. I know my acting is superb, but what I want to talk to you about is dreaded death wobble and some issues that I've come across and I've heard people asking about death wobble. The first thing I want to clear up is death wobble comes for all of us eventually with these Jeeps. Lifted or not lifted, although it's going to get us lifted guys a little bit quicker, but it happens. And it's not a big deal. It definitely feels like a big deal, and if you're not experienced with it, you've not been around it, it definitely seems like a very huge deal. It's scary. I remember my first case. It was horrible. But the reason I'm reaching out and saying anything to you about it is I've had a couple, closer friends or people that I know pretty well have asked me about what kind of steering stabilizer I'm using to avoid death wobble. And guys, that's not the answer. Your steering stabilizer is not the fix. It's a mask, and you'll see people run those big dual steering stabilizers to hide front end issues, but that's not what the problem is. Oftentimes it's going to be a bad bushing somewhere. And now that's going to be where your trick's going to be, is finding the bad bushings. And I'm going to climb under the Jeep and show you real quick here a little bit more about that so that you can kind of see it if you're not real experienced with it, and learn about correcting the issue rather than masking the issue. So I'm going to hop out here real quick and take a look here and see what we can come up with together. Hey there, how you doing? All right, so I'm down here underneath the Jeep. I'm going to flip my camera around so you guys can look at some of the components. And I'm going to show you my own personal Jeep because I'm that kooky. All right, so under here, you're going to see that is my steering stabilizer. Now, I did do the relocation. I do have a steering stabilizer. That's a rough country one. I know rough country, right? It hasn't exploded or done anything weird on me yet. But the reason I replaced mine and relocated is because I busted that on the Kentucky Adventure Trail on a really awesome off-road adventure I just experienced. But something I just did here recently, because I had some slop in my steering, was right here. I don't know if you can see this bar. Yeah, I shot some grease out of there, but right there, my drag link. So with the drag link, a little bit of up and down movement's okay, but that's tight. I'm giving that some beans and it's tight now. But as you can see here, that's okay too. Those are my tie rod ends. That's my tie rod. And that's okay. That's moving a little bit. But what you want to watch out for with these guys is any kind of up and down travel in either one of these joints, okay? So that's one thing you're going to check. The other thing that a lot of people miss after they lift their Jeeps, I don't know if you can see that big, beefy, beautiful biatch there. That is my track bar. I lifted my Jeep, so that kind of threw everything off, all my geometry off. And you have to get those two right. These two, your drag link and your track bar, should run parallel with each other. And you can see when I bring mine up, they're pretty parallel. So that's one of the ways I know that I got mine right. Other thing I did down here, lower control arms, adjustable lower control arms with flex joints in them. That's another place you're going to check those bushings, your control arm bushings. Mine are good, which is why I also have no wobble. Another place to look here would be, wow, sway bar links, okay? You're going to check them to make sure those bushings are good. Mine are good. Those are metal cloak. I hate those goofy bump stops I got, those red ones. I shouldn't have cheap got on those. But they really don't serve much purpose except bump stopping my bump. Bump. So they work, but whatever. Everything else is in pretty good order. You know, I don't have really any issues, anything to complain about, really. But, yeah, that's the kind of stuff you're going to want to look for your death wobble. You know, make sure you get here and check things out. And if you're not experiencing problems, get out there and check it out anyway. Because your problem is somewhere here in the suspension. And it's not, and I repeat, it is not going to be this dude right here, okay? Really, ideally, you should be able to take that off and drive without it. I did. Actually drove, I live east of Cincinnati in Ohio, and I drove from basically the Gatlinburg area home on 75, I-75, which is a crappy highway. It's all kinds of tore up. But I drove all the way from there home with the busted stabilizer and 0 sway bars. So I got, we went to a creek on the Kentucky Adventure Trail that we didn't think was going to be that bad. The trail wasn't supposed to be real horrible. One of the guides was thinking maybe we didn't need to disconnect. We definitely needed to disconnect because I bent my stock disconnects like a C shape and inverted my sway bar. But you see how now, if you look at my sway bar, it kind of points up. It's in a good spot now. Everything's pretty okay right now with me. Wow, we keep meeting like this. Pretty fancy. Anyway, I'm laying here on the ground in front of the park looking like a goon. Just wanted to reach out and again say, you know, your death wobble, don't mask it. You know, go ahead and figure out what's wrong. Find the bushing or find what's on here going wrong with your Jeep. See if you can fix it right, and then it'll handle like a dream. My handle's great now. Tightened my steering up. Everything's good. My steering wheel's aligned. Everything turned out good, and I'm very happy with my Jeep. I'm always happy with my Jeep. What am I talking about? I smile every time I see it, and you should too. So, guys, I love you. Thanks for following me. Nightmare JK, out.